Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
We
Prabhuji,
can.
yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Happy Ekadashi to all. Thank you for joining, for chanting together. It's a great honor that we have all of you on the call. And we also have Srinivas Acharya Prabhu who has joined us from Charlotte. Prabhuji, can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can hear you. Prabhuji. We can't see you
Is
yet.
video coming up well?
Yeah, but I can't see you well, Prabhuji.
Okay, I plugged in my video, Prabhuji.
It is still showing your name, Srinivas Acharya Das, but it is not showing your picture. So in few minutes time, we'll be starting the Bhagavatam class given by His Grace Srinivas Acharya Prabhu. Prabhuji is just enabling his video. So I humbly request that if you're finishing the round, please finish it and we'll stop it there and then we'll hear the Bhagavatam class and the whole day of chanting today anyway, Ekadashi. Yeah, Hare Krishna. We can see you now, Prabhuji. We can see you now.
Okay.
So let us welcome Srinivas Acharya Prabhu, three loud Hari Bols. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Yes.
Hari Bol.
Okay, Prabhuji, some housekeeping task. Are you muting everybody and I have to unmute?
Yes, I'm going to mute everybody for 1 minute. Just going to pin you first. Okay. Yes. You can unmute yourself now, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So you can hear me now, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhuji and Mataji, for giving me this opportunity and especially joining the call so early on an auspicious Ekadasi day. And happy Ekadasi to all of you. So I hope I am serving some purpose in your spiritual sadhana. So we will read Srimad Bhagavatam again today. From Canto 7 this time, which is the Science of God. And the chapter is 13, entitled Behavior of Perfect Person.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, your face is being cut to your forehead, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay, let me.
A little bit. Yeah. That should be good. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, Prabhuji and Matajis, today we are reading from 7:13:37. 7th canto, 13th chapter and 37 sloka. Let me share my screen first. Okay, Prabhuji, if you want to share screen, that's fine, Prabhuji. I don't have.
Oh, sorry. One minute. Yeah, you can share, Prabhuji. You can share now.
Okay. 3, 2, share. Okay. So all of you see Vedabase?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see the screen.
Okay, wonderful. So, okay. Aniha paritustatma
Aniha paritushtatmaha
yadruchopanatadaham
yadruchopanatadaham
no chechaye bahvahani
no chechaye bahvya ahani
mahahirva sattvavan
mahahir iva sattvavan
aniha paritustatma
अनीहः परितुष्टात्मा
yadruchopanatadaham
यदहं
no chechaye bahvahani
no chechaye bahvahani
mahahirva sattvavan
महाहिरिवा सतवान्
अनीहः परितुष्टात्मा
अनीहः परितुष्टात्मा
यदृच्छोपनतादहम्
यदृच्छोपनतादहम्
नो चेचये बह्वहानि
नो चेचये बह्वहानि
महाहिर्वा सत्ववान्
महाहिरिवा सतवान्
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I do not endeavor to get anything, but I am satisfied with whatever is achieved in its own way. If I do not get anything, I am patient and unhesitated like a python and lie down in this way for many days. One should learn detachment from the bumblebees, for they collect drops of honey here and there and keep it in their honeycomb. But then someone comes and by force takes all of the honey anyway, leaving the bumblebees with nothing. Therefore, just give me a second. Okay. Therefore, one should learn from the bumblebee not to keep more money than one needs. Similarly, one should learn from the python to stay in one place for many, many days without food and then eat only if something comes in its own way. Thus, the learned Brahmana gave instructions gained from two creatures, namely the bumblebee and the python. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। I do not endeavor to get anything, but I am satisfied with whatever is achieved in its own way. If I do not get anything, I am patient and unhesitated like a python and lie down in this way for many, many days. So it is a great honor on this auspicious day, and I am grateful to be with all of you to serve and make an effort in your spiritual sadhana. This is a story coming in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, where the science of God is explained. So after Narada Muni explains the Varnashram Dharma, the 4 Varnas, 4 Ashramas, the mechanics around it, right? What should we do? What should not we do? All those things. It's a very heavy topic. Then this chapter, the behavior of a perfect person. Keep in mind, this is a very high topic. And the topic is started with a sannyasi. And in sannyasa, there are four subdivisions. And the 4th one is Paramahamsa stage. So here they are talking about Paramahamsas. Okay. So while we discuss this, keep in mind that the behavior of a perfect person, right? So we should be very careful in drawing conclusions from this. Okay. So in Science of Self-Realization, very early in all of our spiritual life, and we picked up that book from Srila Prabhupada. And if you remember, Srila Prabhupada says, if you want to think about only Krishna. If you want to listen only about Krishna. If you want to speak about Krishna. If you want to write about Krishna. If you want to paint about Krishna. So as soon as we turn away from Krishna, immediately Maya captures us. So the perfection of life is always sing the glories of Lord Hari. In order to do that, we should continuously, without a stop, should meditate and aspire for that situation. When we come at some point in life, we renounce all our material responsibilities that have taken birth from the Varna system and Ashrama system. So we fulfill our responsibilities as we get into Vanaprastha Sannyasa order. We should detach. This is the key word, quote unquote, detach. That detachment should be developed so that we will gradually do not depend on other living entities, either within family, immediate family, extended family, friends, but completely depend on Krishna, and whatever the material nature gives us, we accept that. When we become completely independent and detached from material nature and all our temporary relationships, and completely depend on mercy of Krishna, and at that time there is a possibility that we can focus on chanting Harinam completely and listen that Harinam completely. The constitutional position of Jiva is Anandamaya Abhyasat. It is always pleasure seeking, whether it is in spiritual world or material world. In material world, what happens is because it made a mistake in spiritual world and fell down into material world, the soul still continues to seek the pleasure, Ananda, under the umbrella of three modes of material nature. In Tamoguna, the soul seeks the pleasure by inflicting pain upon other living entities. And through that, inflicting that suffering upon other living entities, the jiva tries to gain some happiness. And in Rajoguna, it looks for the fame, it looks for wealth, it looks for the power. And by getting into those roles and responsibilities by hook or crook, beg, borrow, steal, the soul tries to find some happiness. That is Rajoguna. And then there is a Sattva-guna. In Sattva-guna, the soul tries to derive happiness by giving charity, by helping others, by speaking pleasing words to others. It's still under the three modes of material nature. But in bhakti, the soul derives happiness from seva, service. This is called Sevananda, which is transcendental to three modes of material nature. So which is called Sevananda, which is higher and unimaginably intense pleasure compared to the three levels of happiness that I just spoke. So in order to reach that level, we have to pass through several stages in our life. We have to have strong association, we have to have a spiritual master, and we have to remember that it is not easy to remember Krishna at the time of death, or when we chant the holy name 16 rounds every day. We struggle a lot to chant, we struggle a lot to hear that word, and we struggle day after day. And then what to think of remembering Krishna at the time of death, when the situation becomes out of our control. So here is a story about a Avadhuta Brahman. And the story happened in Satya Yuga. When Prahlad Maharaj goes around his kingdom and roaming around to find how everybody is happy, or if there is any, he's traveling. And when he was traveling, he came across with a very fat sadhu rolling on the ground in a jungle. And the people who are accompanying the emperor, they thought this sadhu is somebody who is insignificant, and they ignored him. But just like an expert warrior can recognize another warrior, an expert teacher can recognize another teacher, an expert painter can recognize another painter, no matter what dress they are in. Similarly, a pure devotee can recognize another pure devotee. Being a pure devotee himself, one of the 12 Mahajans, Prahlad Maharaj, identified this sadhu is no ordinary. So he got down, he went, and he paid his obeisances and started asking questions. And the conversation happens throughout this chapter, and it is quite lengthy. But today what we are going to focus is about the bumblebee and the python. This is a story about attachment. So as people become more and more materially successful, that material success will become an hindrance to spiritual progress. This is not my own words. This is what Mata Kunti prays to Lord in Srimad Bhagavatam. That the material qualifications will become a hindrance and will check our progress. And elsewhere in the same Bhagavatam, it is explained the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj
We lost your voice, Prabhuji. We can see you, Prabhuji, but we can't hear you. No, we can't hear you, Prabhuji. Can you hear me? We can't hear you. But I'm sending a chat. Subbarao Prabhu, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you, but we cannot hear Prabhuji.
It says connecting to audio.
Yeah, I think Prabhuji is connecting to audio. Yeah.
Yes.
Prabhuji, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, it is called out. So I was speaking about the attachment and the material success Queen Kunti prayers. But elsewhere in Bhagavatam, the Dhruv Maharaj, 5-year-old boy, he walked into the jungle, and for 6 months he was doing tapasya. He was controlling. Prabhuji, can you mute if anybody is not speaking?
I'm muting, Prabhuji. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know who is, but there is a background noise.
Yes, yes. I'll keep muting if
Okay.
anybody unmutes.
Yes. So Dhruv Maharaj went through severe austerities that cannot be imagined from a 5-year-old boy. And because he completely controlled his senses and purified after receiving the darshan of Krishna, so Krishna gave him all the wealth. So the point that we have to note here is that wealth, Krishna knows that this all the power and wealth that he was giving to Dhruv Maharaj at such an young age will not become a roadblock for him and check him on his spiritual path. So he proved to Krishna that he will be extremely focused on the lotus feet of Krishna. And then there is a story of Sudama Vipra. And Sudama Vipra went through severe and unbelievable poverty. And even when he contemplated, when his wife told him that go out to Krishna and seek some help so that we can get out of this poverty. And even before he went to meet Krishna, he has nothing to offer him. And his wife has to go into the streets and beg house to house. And she finally got some chipped rice. And she packed that chipped rice and gave it to Sudama Vipra. On his way return from Dwaraka, Sudama Vipra was given unbelievable amount of wealth. So the prayers that Queen Kunti was explaining is for almost everybody. But here are the examples of great Mahapurush who proved that whether they have wealth, power, or they don't have wealth and power, they will remain focused on their devotional service to Krishna. For such devotees, Krishna will give them power. Krishna will give them the wealth. So otherwise, what happens is they get so attached and they go mad. They go mad with that power. Ahankara will come and they will start identifying them as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though they may not declare on the size and scale of Hiranyakashipu, but they will act on that platform on a much smaller scale and create a disturbance in the family, in the society, and friends and elsewhere. So here the Avadhuta Brahman is explaining to Prahlad Maharaj that in the previous two slokas, he explains, and especially Prabhupada comments on those two slokas, that a bumblebee goes from flower to flower, works extremely hard to collect drop by drop of honey to make a honeycomb. And it collects, keep on collecting, working extremely hard, more than what he needs, more than what that bumblebee needs. And once it becomes big enough, somebody will come and steal it. Or if the bumblebee is attached to that honeycomb and do not want to leave it, and the bumblebee will be killed during that taking away process. Okay, so the lesson that we have to learn from here, the Avadhuta Brahmana was telling Prahlad Maharaj that we should not be attached. We should not be working so hard for a material wealth accumulating to the extent that our life is threatened. In Kali Yuga, especially Srila Prabhupada comments that once we have anything significant, immediately somebody will come to steal it. In previous yugas, it may be thieves, but in Kali Yuga, the government itself will come in the form of taxes and steal that money. So it is detrimental. In Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Satyahara Prayasaccha. So over endeavoring is a roadblock for spiritual progress. That is a general statement. Okay, for somebody whose priority number one is making spiritual progress and serving Vaishnavas, pleasing Guru and Krishna, that over-endeavoring is a roadblock as per Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, this is very general, but in the history of our movement, Srila Prabhupada had a disciple, and that disciple worked 20 hours a day driving cab, making money to support the temple. And Srila Prabhupada was very appreciative. But here we have to understand this is a unique situation where the Guru is supporting the disciple. And it's the same legendary Guru, Srila Prabhupada, had another disciple who once came to Prabhupada and told that, Srila Prabhupada, I will chant like Haridas Thakur, 300,000 names a day, and I will go to Mayapur, and I will leave United States, I will go to Mayapur, and I will chant 300,000 names a day. Srila Prabhupada said, if you do that, you will fall down. Because Srila Prabhupada knows that in this case, in the second example, Srila Prabhupada knows this particular disciple is actually imitating. He is not following the footsteps. In last class, somebody asked this question: how do we recognize between both? Right? In the second example that I specified, there is a false ego that I can do that. Right? We should not Mahajano yena kadasa pandha. We should not imitate the great people, but we should follow in their footsteps. This particular devotee went to Mayapur and chanted for a few months, 300,000 names every day. And once Prabhupada went to Calcutta and somebody was filling the gas of his car, and they recognized this particular devotee. And they asked, what are you doing at a gas station? And he told that I already chanted enough names. And now I don't need to chant, and I'm back into my material life. Hare Krishna. So we have to understand the attachment causes so much the false ego. During our material responsibilities, we are into so many different things, and we should always check upon ourselves, look over the shoulder, that we are not attached to anything, and we should walk out. In the previous slokas, the Paramahamsa sannyasi, it is explained by Narada Muni that the sannyasi should not stay in one place for more than one day. During the day, he should go out and preach, inspire people. And during the night time, he should simply slip into the darkness and go on to the next village. Okay. So again, remember, these are all Paramahamsa, the perfect persons. We are nowhere close to that. So Krishna, today we are going to talk about two qualities of Krishna. Krishna is the supreme proprietor, and Krishna is the supreme father. Ishopanishad. Ishavashamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena taktena bhungitama grudaha kasya siddhanam. Everything that exists in manifested and unmanifested worlds belongs to Krishna and nobody else. He is 100% owner of everything, including our own bodies. We do not even own our own bodies. So initially, it is very difficult for us to accept it. But once Ahankara steps into our consciousness, we fall into the trap that I am this body, and everything belongs to this body is mine. And then the karma gets created. So the 5-year-old Prahlad Maharaj told his father that Janasya moho aham mameti. So thinking that I am this body, everything belongs to this body is mine, is the root cause of all our problems. So, oh my father, leave all these things, go to Vrindavan and worship Krishna. So the bumblebee works so hard to collect drop by drop and gather in one place, and the hunter will come and take it away. And if the bees are getting into his way, in the hunter's way, he will kill the bees and still take it away. So anything that we are materially attached, and the laws of material nature will punish us pretty bad. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. So we have the right to do karma, but not to the fruits of the karma. We cannot claim ownership on the fruits of karma. Listen carefully, Prabhujis and Matajis. We have right to water the plant, but we don't have the right to pluck the flowers. Those flowers belongs to Krishna. Jivera hoy Swarupa Krishnera Nityadas. Our eternal constitutional position is to be servant of Krishna. That plant, the owner of that plant is Krishna, and our service is to water it, but not to take the flower away from the plant. So Krishna is the supreme proprietor. He is the supreme father. So in anybody who tries to disturb that cardinal principle, and we see Krishna comes again and again. Right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinachaya saduskrutam dharma samsthapanadaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he comes at the end of every yuga. But what happens between yuga and yuga? Does these dharma is perfectly followed between two incarnations of Krishna? No, there will be trouble. So in order to send it intermediate help, so Krishna sends the acharyas, Krishna gives temples, Krishna gives scriptures. So Krishna sends that help in so many different ways. Those acharyas tells us that we have to read the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and take example from these scriptures and discuss within a similar minded Vaishnava community and learn lessons from them, that we have to work hard and to support our families to take them on the path of Krishna consciousness, but not over endeavor, knowing well that whose all the property belongs to, right? So I want to narrate a story that I heard very early in the days of Krishna consciousness, my Krishna consciousness, that there was a pujari in a temple. He was living and worshipping the deity in the temple every day, and he was so fortunate to do so. And right opposite to his house, there was a prostitute, and she was indulging into the sinful activities. So this pujari every day goes and worships the deity, and when the temple is closed, he comes home, looks at the opposite house, and he feels so sad for that woman who is indulging into that sinful activities. And he thinks that she is committing so many papa karma, right? And at the same time, the prostitute was looking at the house of this pujari, and she was thinking and meditating that how fortunate this pujari was to worship the Lord, and how fortunate, and how when she will get an opportunity to be in that situation to worship the Lord directly. So like that, both the pujari and the prostitute continues their lives, and they die, and they go to Yamaraj. And Yamaraj looks at both of them and tells that, pujari, you go to hell, and this prostitute, you go to heaven. And the pujari questions Yamaraj, and I am worshipping the Lord all the time, and why I did not commit even a single sinful activity, and why I should go to hell. At the same time, this here is the prostitute, and she was doing all sinful things, and she is being sent to heavenly planets. Why is this so? And Yamaraj says that while you are worshipping the Lord, you are not thinking about the Lord. You are thinking about this prostitute. And whatever sinful activities she is doing, and part of that you are taking it because you are meditating on her. And while even though she was committing sinful activities, she was thinking about you and the Lord, and the punya karma, a part of that is going to her because it is about the Lord. Lord is completely pure, and that purified her consciousness completely. So in the case of this bumblebee, we have to take whatever that is required, that we need. If we take more than, if we endeavor for more than what we need, for example, you keep a bag full of bird seed in your backyard, and the birds will come, and they just take whatever they need. They don't carry away everything that was given to them. That is by nature. The nature of the jiva is like that. So there was a great demon called Hiranyaksha, the brother of Hiranyakashipu. So he was extremely greedy. Of the 6 anarthas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Macharya, this Hiranyaksha is the personification of greediness. Hiranya means gold. So he went around the universe and started extracting gold to please his brother, Hiranyakashipu. So he was doing that, he was mining the entire universe to the extent that the planet become unstable. And the Lord has to come as Lord Varahadev to kill this demon. So on a smaller scale, the bumblebee goes and starts extracting the honey. Honey is money. And collecting and storing it more than what he needs. That is greediness. And the punishment is that hunter will come and eventually will kill. So here the bumblebee is a spiritual master that Mother Nature gives to all of us, saying that we should learn from bumblebee not to over endeavor and save more than what we need, because that attracts problems, especially in Kali Yuga. So from Python, this Avadhuta Brahman, he was saying that Python will stay in one place, and whatever comes in its way, it just eats it, and it will not roam around to find the food. So by doing so, the jiva will become peaceful. When jiva is peaceful and not in anxiety, we can chant the holy names of Hari, and we can cry out the names of Lord Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, to the extent that Lord can hear us. So as long as we think we are the proprietors, as long as we think that we are the controllers, we cannot call out the holy names with sincerity that attracts Krishna's attention. So we have to get out of that mode. So we are not proprietors, we are not controllers. Krishna is the only proprietor and Krishna is the only controller. So that's all I want to say today, Prabhuji and Mataji. This particular topic attracts a lot of questions. So I condensed the content, and probably we can open up for questions and answers now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a nice class. In fact, it's one of my favorite topics also, the Python Man. There are two chapters in Bhagavatam which always attract me. One is Python Man and Avanti Brahman. Though they are very high topics, but they humble me every time I read them. So thanks for choosing this topic today, Prabhuji. Any questions?
I have one question.
Yeah, Chandra Prabhu.
So today the world, everything is uncertainty. We don't know what's happening and what kind of problems we'll face. So how much money this virus is creating so many troubles. And when we go to hospital, they are charging so much of money. So there are so many things are happening like this. So how do we know like how much we need and how much we need to keep aside for our necessities, like these problems, health problems, and children studies, all this kind of thing. So how do we take decision on that?
So that is the reason why the Vedic system has given us Guru. Guru is a personal counsel, Prabhuji. So based on your time, place, and circumstances, based on your geographical location and the troubles we are in, the Guru, knowing our weaknesses and strengths, he can customize what exactly we need. Just like a tailor stitches the shirt that fits to our body shape, a Guru will keep the primary goal of pleasing Krishna in mind. He can customize, adjust all external things so that we meet our material responsibilities, but also make progress on the spiritual path. But remember, Prabhuji, this story, I opened the story by saying that this is for a perfect Paramahamsa person, right? So these for somebody who is completely renounced. Remember, this is a dialogue between two legendary renounced devotees, Prahlad Maharaj and Avadhuta Brahman. So we are light years away from that. So, but coming to our Kali Yuga, COVID-related situations, yes, we need money. Inflation is going up. and the educational monetary requirements are shooting up. We need money. We cannot go and knock out at anybody's help. And that is a shameful thing if we have to do that. We have to plan for that. But the general principle we have to keep in mind. While doing that, we do not fall from the moving train. So the ahankara makes that our greedy ahankara makes our greedy desires to hide under the carpet of these future requirements. Like I said, I gave the example of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, right? So there are many similar other devotees I know personally that they told the spiritual masters that I want to invest in stock market and I want to do this business and make millions of dollars and donate that money to the temple. And I know that in many cases, the Guru replied, you are in Maya. So, but your question is much more narrow, Prabhuji. Your question is about your personal needs. And, another devotee asked me that when I was discussing a similar topic, he said he wants to work 2-3 jobs and make so much money and give a charity to others. So that is the reason why we need a personal Shiksha Guru, Prabhuji. So that Shiksha Guru can guide you and can come up with a customized solution so that you can still live peacefully, and in that state of peacefulness you can chant the holy names of Hari.
Okay. Thank you.
But remember, Chandra Prabhu, taking birth in Kali Yuga is a disadvantage, right? So of all the bad things that come in Kali Yuga, the only good fortune in Kali Yuga is just by chanting the Harinam, we can go back to Godhead. So we have to be very careful. Yes, we have to meet this, but we have to remember that is temporary. But our primary goal is to please Guru and Krishna.
Very much.
And I know some people will work 3 jobs and have no time to chant their rounds. So that is Maya, Prabhu. And there was one devotee who came to a sannyas Prabhupada and Prabhupada Murti in a temple, and he was telling that, I think he came to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Srila Prabhupada, you came into my dream last night and you instructed me to take LSD so that I can serve you better. And Prabhupada told, rascal, it is not me, but Maya coming in my form into your dream and telling you to take LSD. So we should never underestimate Maya. So Maya might tell us, oh, Chandra Prabhu, your Bhagyarekha is you are going to become a billionaire. So first become billionaire and then start chanting. So we have to recognize that it is Maya coming in the disguise. At the same time, we have to read about Rupa Goswami, who was already a billionaire. But when he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he left all those things and just with a coping, he walked towards Vrindavan. So whether you are married or not married, and I don't know your personal situation, yes, we need money. And I raised 2 kids who are both now adults, and they went to college in US. I signed big checks, probably. But I can say this confidently that we need money. But in the process of making that money, you get so tired that at the end of the day, you look back and say that, Krishna, why I have to go all through this?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Is that all right, Prabhuji?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you,
Krishna Prabhuji. You mentioned, Prabhuji, that our constitutional
position, in our constitutional position, we are in a Ananda. We forget that. Why is it, Prabhuji? Why is it so difficult for us to, even though we know we are suffering day in, day out, that happiness is not there, Ananda is not there. And if our constitutional position is Ananda, then why do we struggle so much to remember that?
Because we are looking at wrong place, Prabhuji. And Prabhupada explained that you look at a fish in water, swimming very happily, nicely in a river or in a ocean, and you take that fish out of the water and put it in a pond of honey. Will it be happy? Of course, honey is better than water. As a human being, we understand it is more valuable, it is more sweet, and it is nice. Honey is nice, but the constitutional position of a fish is that it can swim, it can live happily only in water. So our happiness, like I explained in Tamoguna, the happiness by eating meat and all those things, and in Rajoguna by trying to become political leaders and trying to be controllers, and in Sattva-guna by doing charity, we are trying to find happiness under the three modes of material nature, Babuji. This quote unquote under the three modes of material nature. And those three modes of material nature by design, they are created to frustrate us.
Yeah.
So no matter, we can spend millions of lifetimes in material world and continue to search the happiness in one of these three modes of material nature, but we will never find happiness because the constitutional position is, Jiva's constitutional position is, the soul wants the Ananda only derived from its service to Krishna and the Vaishnavas. Just like that fish will be happy only in water and not anywhere else. You can drop that fish in the pond of Amrit, but still it will not survive. It needs only the water.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question. Yeah. Anybody else has a question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Kinchan Priya. Yes, go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class, actually. Prabhuji, I have a question. See, even though we are practicing for so many years, whatever it may be, Prabhuji. So, my question is, we still want to have the second flat, or want to buy some plot, or we want to invest in shares, something and all. We read daily 10 offenses, and also it in the 10th offense it says that we should not be have any material attachments and all, but still we have this. So, and now you have taken the example of bumblebee, where it is trying to extract more and more, more and more, and also how to understand. See, can we understand this as per capacity we are doing, or without extending for the loans and all? It's coming as a natural to me, or how to understand this? This is or how to understand whether the Krishna is giving me or me to utilize in his services and all. How to understand this? Sometimes it is very difficult. For example, you have taken two examples, Prabhuji. I'll try to. I heard these examples previously also. Like you said, one Prabhuji who was working for 20 hours, right, and is donating for the temple. He is working and is giving the money for the temple. But in the sense, he do not have he is not greedy. He is not using for his sense gratification. He is giving for the he understood that the Krishna is the supreme and he is donating and all. But in the second example, where he wants to serve by his names, that devotee wants to chant and serve by his names. Both are in service. One is physically working, and the other one is serving by his lips, names, whatever, with the tongue and all. But here Prabhupada has clearly told not to follow, imitate or imitate, right? Imitate the acharyas and all like. So how to understand this? I think I have asked two questions in this, Prabhupada. Can you please explain? Please explain.
Yeah. So the second question, let's take the second question first, Prabhuji. So how do we know whether we are following in the footsteps or imitating somebody else? So that Guru can immediately recognize, Prabhuji. Just like a mother knowing her child, if this child eats this type of food, the child is allergic to that food and the child will get sick. Mother will stop the child from getting sick and not telling the child not to eat that food. Similarly, your spiritual master will tell you exactly what is imitation and when you are following in the footsteps. And if your chanting is intense enough, probably you can recognize by yourself. Krishna, as Chaitya Guru in your heart, he will tell you clearly that Prabhuji, you are imitating, you are not following in the footsteps. The common differentiator between these two is Ahankar, Prabhuji. So are you doing that to please Guru and Krishna? Are you doing that to please your Ahankar that you can chant 300,000 names just like Haridas Thakur chanted? So in the second example, he wants to prove that to all other devotees that he can also chant just like Haridas Thakur. And that is selfishness, Prabhuji. That is false ego. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also chanted 300,000 names for several days. But he never imitated Haridas Thakur. He was extremely humble. But in this particular disciple case, his guru, Srila Prabhupada, knows that this devotee is not matured enough. His Anartha Nivritti is not complete. He has not reached the perfection level in his sadhana so that he can chant 300,000. Chanting 300,000 names per day is not the problem, Prabhuji. But what is the mode in which he is trying to chant? As a servant of servant, or he wants to become a master? Is he expecting any material gain from that? Okay, in the first case, Prabhuji, in your first question, the money investing and all those, investing in stock markets and other things are prohibited as per regulative principles. It is prohibited, but there are some devotees who take their guru's permission. I know some disciples who work in stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange and stock markets. They are financial advisors. They invest as part of their job. In those cases, it is part of their job. If you are a doctor, treating a patient and touching the blood is part of the job. Similarly, for some disciples, that is part of their job. So they consult their guru and they take their permission. But again, I told from the beginning that these are the general guidelines that we have to learn from this bumblebee and all these things. But a customized, the primary goal is to please Krishna. Sarvasya saham hrudi sannavishto matta smrutir jnanam apohanam cha vedaicha sarveraham vedavedyo vedanta krut veda videha saham. So the Yajnik Brahmans were following the 4 regulative principles. They are doing everything according to Krishna, but they do not know who Krishna is. So when Krishna himself came and asked them, I am hungry, give me the food, they said, we don't give you. But their wives, the Brahmanis, knowing that Krishna is God, they give that food to them. So we have to understand why we are doing what we are doing. The ultimate purpose is to please Krishna. So when Krishna comes and tells you to Yudhishthira, you go and tell a lie. We have to tell a lie. At that situation, not telling a lie is a sinful reaction, Prabhuji. And Yudhishthira Maharaj has to walk through hell for that. So, but if Krishna is not asking that, if somebody else is asking, my friend is coming to me and asking me that to tell a lie to somebody, if I do that, I will incur simple reaction. So, investing, all those things are not a bad idea, Prabhuji, but at what cost? So, are you doing that? Are you being captured by that idea to the extent you are ignoring your sadhana, and your spiritual masters are the your chain of command in your spiritual life are advising you not to do that? So then you are not doing a favor for yourself, because it is completely speculation, Prabhuji. Stock market is a speculation, but if you are investing for long haul, for example, I am an employee of Bank of America, and as part of my package, they give me some shares, and some of my 401k money goes into stock market. So I don't pay any attention. Every paycheck, that money goes, and that money is invested in a basket of mutual funds, and it is invested, and it is being invested for more than 10 years now. And probably when I want that money, I will withdraw and use it. But if that becomes a great distraction, then we have to seriously introspect ourselves. But again, who can conclusively say do it or not do it is Guru, Prabhupada. So I remember once His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, in Atlanta, I was listening to him, and he was saying that he had a disciple, and she was an air hostess. And the air hostess, upon getting initiated, she came to her Guru Maharaj and told that as part of my job, I have to serve meat and alcohol. But I don't eat, I don't drink. And that is my job. Can you give me permission? And Maharaj gave permission. Again, these are all very customized, specific things, probably. But if you inherited $100 million from your parents, and now you become a devotee, and you want to get into stock market investing, then the same Guru will tell you, don't do that. You already have enough wealth. You don't do that. You simply chant your rounds and perfect your life. Is that all right, Prabhupada?
Yes, Prabhupada. Yes.
Very good.
So as long as it does not distract our sadhana, we can it is allowed to do. That is what you are trying to do.
And must be approved by authorities.
Yeah. But it's sometimes difficult to get whether the Guru we are not in touch of Guru, right? So how to understand that also?
Yeah, that is a topic that Leelanand Prabhu can take, probably. I am not qualified.
Prabhuji, that was going to be my next question to you, actually. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Shri Giriraj Prabhu, you have a question, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You ask Prabhu.
Mahalingam Prabhu, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hold on, Prabhuji. Hold on. Prabhuji, Leelanand Prabhu, can you mute everybody else?
Yeah. I'm muted, Prabhuji. Actually, the voice was coming from Mahalingam Prabhu's phone only.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So he became like a child.
Thank you very much for a wonderful class and enlightening session. We all aspire for hearing from you always. I had one thing in my mind, Prabhuji. I heard a lecture of Maharaj also, in that he was telling we should not aspire for anything other than pure devotional service. Nothing of material gain is going to give us happiness, and only thing is to serve Radha and Krishna. And this should be our mood in which we should be chanting. But it is very difficult, Prabhuji. Although we understand all this, we have this knowledge, we hear so much from you and all other gurus, but still, this knowledge alone is not helping us. When we sit for chant, even we get so much distracted by so many other things. Even while we are not chanting or doing something else, we are not into that mode of, okay, I want to serve Radha and Krishna, and that focus of pure devotional service goes off, and we are into getting that material gain and sense gratification. So what is that apart from knowledge that can help us? How to gain that mercy, if mercy is the answer?
No, Prabhuji, I think I say this answer quite consistently, that if you are already chanting 16 rounds and if you are fixed in the Krishna consciousness, but struggling to focus on holy name. So remember, Prabhuji, the 9 stages of bhakti, the longest is Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti probably is not a 1 day, 1 month task. It may take multiple lifetimes sometimes for people whose attachment is deeper. So in order to get that attachment out, right? This bumblebee, today's story is the bumblebee. Why we should not be attached? When that money and when that honey goes away, we should not be surprised, because that is how the nature works. If that honey still is there, we should be surprised. Means that this material nature is not supposed to work like that. If I make money, somebody should come and trouble me. If nobody is coming and trouble me, I am not in Kali Yuga, I am not in material world. So they expect trouble, Prabhuji. If there is no trouble, padam padam yet vipadam. So if there is no trouble, we should be surprised. So now coming to focusing, Prabhuji, my consistent answer on that is the association. You should associate with devotees who are firmly fixed in the lotus feet of their Guru, serving their Guru, and they are making tremendous service to please Guru and Krishna. And just to hold on to their pinky finger, Prabhuji, and tell them to drag you along their way. You are safe, Prabhuji. But remember, in Kali Yuga, to make progress is very difficult, Prabhuji. 360 degrees Maya is captured us. Ajamil, one day in his life, just saw one prostitute. Just once. And he got distracted in previous yugas. And in Kali Yuga, we see every 5 seconds. So the only thing that protects us is our prayers, our family prayers. So Krishna tells that when all the devotees come in a group and chant my glories, I am personally present there. So it is important we do sadhana individually, but kirtana is more important, Prabhu. When we do congregational chanting, Krishna is personally present there. That is Krishna's word, that when a group of devotees come together and chant my glories, I am personally present. When Krishna is personally present, everybody gets purified. That is the power of Sankirtan.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one following question. How do you associate, given this pandemic situation, how can you share your experience of association? How you take care of your association?
This pandemic is unique, Prabhuji. One, it is an outlier. It is a situation nobody expected, nobody is prepared. So I think even for our own organization, ISKCON, it took some time to respond, but they were quick. And the acharyas, the teachers, the great sannyasis lined up so many programs through Zoom, YouTube, almost on a regular basis. Even though temples are closed, and especially in United States, the programs and the lecture series are quite a lot, Prabhuji. And in my personal case, I have enough lectures of Guru Maharaj. That will take probably three of my lifetimes to hear. And I have enough of Srila Prabhupada's books that take another 2 lifetimes. So that keeps me busy, probably. So even though I do not have personal association, so actually I have Bhakti Vriksha here in Charlotte. I preach to them, and I listen to them when they are taking classes. There are some initiated devotees, but still it is impersonal. It is impersonal, not personal. So good out of bad bargain. Right? We have to do what our best. But now almost everybody is getting vaccinated. Almost done. US is almost everybody is vaccinated in this part of the country. All double vaccinated. Now we are trying to go back into personal Bhakti Vriksha.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Vivek Prabhu, Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a related question. So our intensity of devotion keeps changing, right? Sometimes we feel motivated, and most of the time we feel miserable, right? So there is a constant conflict between what your mind wants and what your intelligence says, right? So any thoughts, Prabhuji, on this?
I don't know whether you chant Gayatri or not, Prabhuji, but at the time of Gayatri ceremony, the Guru tells, while giving the Gayatri mantra, he tells that the material nature 3 times a day onslaughts on our consciousness. It attacks our consciousness so intensely that at the time of Sandhya, when the Sandhya is changing from day to night and night to afternoon and afternoon to night. So in order to protect that devotee's consciousness, we chant Gayatri, and that Gayatri protects us. So it is no wonder, Prabhuji, if you are so fortunate that you are recognizing that it is impacting you. But there are many people who do not even recognize, even though they are suffering from it. So, but the good thing that you recognize, you speed up your initiation and you speed up taking Gayatri. And Gayatri is very secret. It is not like Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So if you chant your Gayatri, that protects. But remember, Gayatri supports Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is one answer, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Prabhuji, can ladies chant Gayatri mantra?
Yes, Mataji. Matajis will also, Matajis will not have the sacred thread, but they will. The Guru will give Gayatri to Matajis also. And I have god sisters, and I know that there are so many Matajis that are Brahmin initiated.
How can we get Guru to get that Gayatri mantra? Because you are telling that you have Gayatri mantra.
That is.
So how can?
Yeah, that is Leelanand Prabhu's question, Mataji. You can ask him.
That was my next question to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, yes.
Yeah. But Mataji, remember that question. But today's topic is Bumblebee. But getting initiation and convincing Guru to give Gayatri it's a big topic, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mati, can you keep it on? Acha, okay. Anybody else? Any question? I had one question to ask before we wrap up.
Yeah, one thing.
Yeah. 1 minute. I will keep Mati on mute. Yes. This is Sri Giraj Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Yeah. Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji, Srinivasacharya Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your time. I'm able to hear. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Super. Yeah, I had a good fortune to associate in your voice call during Baltimore time, Prabhu, in your Telugu conference calls. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
And it's very sacrifice. It's 11 o'clock for you. Still, you are giving time and enlighten us. I really appreciate your time and thank you so much for your service. Definitely, our Guru Maharaj pleases your services. One question, Prabhuji, how to practice this self-satisfaction? That's see these two examples given in Bhagavatam. So how do we practice that self-satisfaction? Like so much accumulation. Like we have family, we have responsibilities. Still, we have to earn, right? But how do we, along with how do we balance and how to practice the self-satisfaction?
How to? I'm trying to understand about self-satisfaction.
Yeah, how do we self-satisfied? That's
satisfied the financial
yeah, that's the thing. Yes.
Yeah, I think I answered that question, Prabhuji. It is very, as far as financial matters are concerned, it is a very personal thing, Prabhuji. The Srila Prabhupada repeatedly quotes that Rupa Goswami, that whatever money we make, we give 50% to the temple and keep 25% for emergencies and 25% for family needs. That is the golden formula that Prabhupada gave. But I also heard that very few people follow that.
Me myself
So
the same.
In Kali Yuga, the taxation and so many expenses do not allow us to give 50% and keep 25% for emergencies. Yeah. So again, it is a matter of there should be some charity. 50% talks about charity, to give it to the temple and for spiritual preaching projects. We should not completely nullify that contribution. So we should give something in charity from our monthly income. It may not be strictly 50%, probably, because some people make so less money, and some people make so much money. So, but eventually, what I heard was Krishna will look not how much we are giving to him, but he will look into how much we are holding back. Right? So that is how he reciprocates. So I think that is a wonderful story, but we don't have to spend time on that. I'm very sure you know the story. But how to balance these is that the whole political environment and financial landscape is so dynamic and fluctuating based on various moving parts. So inflation is going up, and whatever we were able to buy very comfortably 10 years ago in India, now it became super expensive. Yeah, super expensive, probably. So we have to be very practical with financials. And Prabhupada always stressed the fact that we have to take care of the family first. Take care of the family first, and try to give some charity to and contribute to that. But again, I do not want to discuss a general formula like E equal to MC square, and that you should give this much amount of money to that, because I am also a Grihastha and I know the troubles. But the principle is that there must be some charity. We should continue to give, support the Go Seva, support the temples, support the spiritual masters projects. All those things must continuously go away, because that is the vow that we have taken at the time of initiation. We will continue to serve and please the Guru Maharaj and the Parampara. And as an initiated devotee, we do not own anything. Everything that we have, including our own body, is the property of our Guru Maharaj. Okay, but Guru Maharaj is a merciful father. A father does not want to see his children, sleeping with hunger and not getting enough education and feeling unsafe, not secure, all the health care, all he wants to see. But based on your time, place, and circumstances, you take care of them so nicely based on the teachings of the acharyas. But at the same time, do as much good job as possible to give in charity.
Very good. Thank you, Ramesh.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Srinivas Acharya Prabhu, can I repeat an answer from Radhesham Prabhu on the same question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, with your permission, Prabhuji. Same question I had asked Prabhuji, and several other devotees once asked Prabhuji, and the 50% thing, basically, the 50%, how to interpret that 50%. And as a brahmachari, he gave a very, very nice answer, and I felt it was very implementable. What he told is 50% belongs to Krishna, and remaining 25% for emergency, 25% for family. So that 50% you have to utilize for everything that elevates your family towards Krishna consciousness, including donations. So he told, it might be interpretation, but the interpretation was very soothing. So I thought I'll share is, he told that, you have to make sure that you take your family on yatras. You have to make sure that you have enough investment on DT dresses. You have to make sure that you have enough satsangs where you're hosting and serving devotees. You have to make sure that you are giving to temple. You have to make sure that you are giving for different other sevas associated with Krishna, including Go Seva, Prasadam Seva, Food for Life, whatever projects that ISKCON is into. So when you do all these things together, that bucket can be called as a 50%. And you don't have to think that, okay, 50% I'm writing a check and it's going right out of my account directly to temple, which kind of puts off many, saying that I don't think I can do that much. But Prabhuji is saying at least start 50% of your income putting towards Krishna conscious activities, whereby your family and other devotees are also being helped, like that he told. So I felt that was it was very nice. At least I'm investing. We are all trying to invest that much. Actually, many of the devotees are putting a lot of, if you look at that way, towards Krishna consciousness, and maybe over a period of time that will only keep increasing. So I remember that answer when he told that answer.
Prabhuji, can I ask one question?
Sorry, who is? One minute. Is that Kumari Mataji again?
Yes, Prabhuji, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Sir, before coming to these classes, we used to donate to Christian orphanage.
Okay.
They don't know anything about the Krishna consciousness, and so can we do that, or should we give only charity to Hare Krishna temples and Hare Krishna charities? That is
I think
Leelanand Prabhu.
Yeah, Kumari Mataji, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Mataji, can you go on mute? I'll try to answer. I think there's a lot of disturbance. Yeah, I think I heard your question is that you are donating to a Christian charity institution, and now that you are introduced to Vaishnavas, ISKCON society, where preaching is definitely one of the main activities. Should you continue to invest there, or should you invest here? Mataji, two things. One thing, I think there are a lot of variables included here. Maybe we can take this offline. After the call, you can call me, or I can try to explain more detail. But the principle is, as beautifully Prabhuji said, how much are you holding on is what Krishna is looking at, not how much are you giving, right? And wherever you're giving, Krishna will take care. It is going to the right place. We're not saying it should not donate to a Christian charity, but how much do you know about that institution? How much do you know the people, how they're utilizing it also matters. So as I said, there are a lot of variables involved, and it's a big forum here. I don't think we should discuss this matter with all the variables in this call. We can take it offline. Is it okay, Srinivas Acharya Prabhu? You want to add something there?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, one thing I want to add.
Yes.
On top of what you said is that when we are giving in charity, we should be very careful to whom we are giving. So if we give charity to an unqualified person, and that person is misusing that funds, which does not please Krishna, it will generate karmic reactions. So remember this, what is not bhakti is karma. What is not karma is bhakti.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So if that money is not going to be part of bhakti, it will become karma. And we do not want that. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, whether it is punya or papa, they are two parts of poison for a devotee.
Hare Krishna.
So your money or my money should go where bhakti is protected, bhakti is preached, bhakti is practiced. That should be that's how I take it in my life, Master.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. It's actually very late for you, but I don't know whether I should ask my question. But try to give a small answer if that works out, Prabhuji. I'll try to keep the question simple. Prabhuji, my question is regarding the bumblebees. Is a bumblebee also goes and collects honey from everywhere, right? And it chooses the best flower, the best place. It creates that honey, and then it places that honey in in that comb, honeywood comb, and then it's not like it is detached. When somebody comes to take that honey, it starts biting that person also. So I wanted to understand how to understand this Bhagavatam lesson on a bumblebee holistically. I mean, what exactly is being conveyed here? I understood the python
And
man,
in
but
the previous
bumblebee-
sloka, in the previous sloka, then what we read today, that is exactly what Prabhupada makes the comment. Because bumblebee is so attached to that honeycomb, it stings, and the hunter will inflict pain on it. So that bumblebee is a spiritual master, yes, but is it teaching a positive lesson or a negative lesson? It is a negative lesson.
Got it, Prabhuji. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, it's so late for you. I just want to ask, do you want us to prepone this class to a better time which is suitable for you? Because right now what we are doing is from 5 to 5:30 we are singing all Mangalarti prayers like temple schedule, and then 5:30 to 7:15 we are finishing our 16 rounds, or how many of our rounds get finished by then. Then we are having the Bhagavatam class. But if it is getting too late for you, we can reverse it as well, but I mean, like your Bhagavatam class first and then the chanting, or
No, I think I am able to keep up with this schedule, Prabhuji. So let's continue in the same schedule, but if it is becoming too much for me, then I will definitely let you know.
oh, thank you, Prabhuji. But we are very grateful for your time, Prabhuji. I mean, I know you are preaching locally, and this is a additional request that has come on to you, and you have honored it, and we are very, very grateful to you. And I'm also very happy that close to 50 plus families are coming in the morning and chanting. I never expected those many number of families coming and chanting, and they are also hearing Bhagavatam. Actually, Ekadashi has become a real Ekadashi now. And as you were telling to Sri Giriraj Prabhu some time back, that when you are congregationally chanting, Krishna comes. So Sri Giriraj Prabhu, I think we are congregationally chanting every Ekadashi morning, and Krishna sent Srinivas Acharya Prabhu. That's a proof.
Krishna.
We got our
Hari,
gift. Hari Bol. Let's thank Srinivas Acharya Prabhu with three loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Anant Koti Vaishnav ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.